Hello students, this video is exclusively for the CS executive students. So we are going to discuss jurisprudence of general law subject. So in introduction part, we can say that the subject is to understand what law really means and why it is important and how jurisprudence help us study law in a scientific and philosophical way. Now, you may have noticed that many jurists have defined law differently. So, there is no single definition because every jurist has approached it from a different angle. Some focuses on its nature, some on its purpose, function, or source. So, law changes along with society. So, what one generation calls law may look different in another generation. Still, these definitions together give us a complete picture of what law means and what it tries to achieve. Meaning of law. So this word law can have two different kinds of meanings, specific and general. In the specific sense, law refers to the actual rules and regulations made by a government. For example, the laws that apply in India are created under the Indian legal system. These laws tell us what we can do and cannot do. In broader sense, law refers to the entire legal system, the courts, the legislature, and administrative bodies that help maintain peace and order in society. The Constitution of India, under Article 13, Clause 3, gives an inclusive definition of law. It includes ordinances, orders, bylaw, rules and regulations, etc. And second is law in force. So it basically includes the any law which is made by the competent authority before the constitution came into effect. Okay, so the famous jurists have also given definitions of law like Ulpian, the art or science of what is equitable and good. Cicero, the highest reason implanted in nature, and Justinian's Digest define law as a standard of what is just and unjust. So from these we understand that although definitions differ, the common purpose of law is to guide human behavior, regulate society, and maintain peace and order. Significance of law. Law has evolved over many centuries through customs, judicial decisions, and statutory rules. So, law is not static, it keeps changing with society. As our needs, technologies, and value evolves, like artificial intelligence nowadays, so law are revised to reflect those changes. For example, modern science and technology have created new challenges and ambitions. We now talk about social justice instead of just abstract justice. In modern society, law is not only meant to punish or regulate, but also to promote social and economic justice. It helps reduce inequalities, protect rights, and bring social changes. So, therefore, law is both a product of society and a tool to improve. Relevance of law to civil society. For civil society to function smoothly, a supportive legal environment is essential. So, law plays a dual role. It can empower people by protecting their rights, but it can also restrict freedoms when misused. Okay, so the goal is to balance freedom and order. And law helps organize people life, allowing citizens to participate actively and safely in social, economic, and political activities. Okay, so without law, civil society could not operate fairly or peacefully. Jurisprudence and its legal theories. So now let's move to the science of law, which we call jurisprudence. The word jurisprudence comes from two Latin words. Juris means law and prudentia means knowledge or skill. So jurisprudence means the knowledge or study of law, but not just any single law or statute. It studies laws as a concept, its principles, origins, and purposes. According to B.E. King, jurisprudence doesn't describe what a specific law says, it discusses what law itself means, its foundations, functions, and philosophy. For example, substantive law tells us what our rights and duties are. Okay, like IPC. Procedural law tells us how to enforce them. Okay, so jurisprudence asks deeper questions like what is a right, why do societies create legal duties, and different jurists have explained definitions differently. In England, scholars like Bentham and Austin give rise to analytical jurisprudence, which focuses on the logical structure of law. Later, other emphasizes the social and moral aspects of law, broadening the meaning of jurisprudence. So, according to Selman, jurisprudence is a science of law which studies all obligatory rules of human conduct, and he divided into like civil jurisprudence, which is a study of civil law; international jurisprudence, which is law between nations; and natural jurisprudence, which is universal moral law. Okay. Okay, let's discuss schools of jurisprudence in brief. Like different schools emphasizes different aspects of law. Like analytical school studies law as it is. Okay, focuses on structure and principles, not morals or social goals. Another sociological school says law must solve social problems. It is to understand law. One must see its social function. And teleological school is purpose based. It considers law as a product of human reasons and purpose, so it focuses on the ultimate goals that law should achieve. And Bentham divided jurisprudence into two types: expository jurisprudence, which studies what the law is, and sensorial jurisprudence, which studies what the law ought to be. And Julius Stone called jurisprudence the lawyer's examination of law in light of knowledge from other fields. And Peyton said jurisprudence try to explain how law relates to society and how both evolve together. Thus, the jurisprudence doesn't simply list rules. It studies how law interacts with human life, institutions, and culture. It helps us understand why societies creates law and how these laws achieve justice and progress. Okay, so for today that's all. In next video we will discuss the different schools of jurisprudence and different theories given by the different jurists. Okay, thank you.